the system in the Old Republic is called Crew Skills, and this is something that we've been working on literally for years, trying to solve some of the big puzzles. There are a lot of us that are huge crafting fans, myself included, but really wanted to make sure that we preserved some of the core concepts around the Old Republic, which is that you are playing heroes of Star Wars. You are doing big, heroic, exciting things. So you are not sewing. You are not making shoes. You are not hanging out trying to get some thread together. We went through a lot of different sort of versions of how we would work with this, and one of the things we kept coming back to was the companion characters. One of the issues with companion characters in past BioWare games has always been that you've got a limited set of who you can bring with your party at one time, which means for most people, they pick the couple of companions maybe that they really like, and everybody else ends up back on the ship. Now these came together in a great synergy for us and became the Crew Skills system, which was a combination of the, alright, so we want crafting, but we don't want it to be making your character mundane, and we need something for your crew to be doing. Alright, great, we've got a perfect match. So what Crew Skills is there's three sections of it. There is Gathering, which is pretty easy to understand. It's going out, it's grabbing stuff from the environment, it is sort of your typical harvesting skills, but all in a very Star Wars flavor. So we're doing bioanalysis and actually scanning things, we're getting DNA sequencing from things, etc., etc. One of the things that's really interesting about that, though, is when we get into talking about missions, there are also missions for gathering. So I can gather in three ways. I can be right there physically, and I can say, hey, I see that thing, I'm going to pick it up. Or I can be right there physically, and I can see that thing and say, hey, Vet, you pick that up. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to keep fighting. One of the things that's always really fun is if you're in combat in an area that's actually pretty dangerous, being able to distract someone. Let's say there's actually someone in the area you probably couldn't normally kill. You can throw yourself into combat, fight with them to keep them off your companion character while they harvest something maybe you wouldn't normally be able to get, and then run, right? As soon as they're like, okay, you've got the stuff, let's go. The third way you can do gathering is every gathering skill comes with a mission skill for the gathering. So I can actually call back to my ship. Let's say I don't have Vet, I've got somebody else with me. I can call back to the ship and I can say, hey Vet, why don't you go find me some of this material? I don't care where you get it, just go. So that's gathering. The second part of the Crew Skills is crafting, and that's really the traditional sort of crafting system. You have a crafting table, which is on your ship. Up to 5 of your companions can be working on it at once, and you say, okay, I have all the components I need. I now want to make something, but I'm not going to make it. My companions are going to make it. And each of your companions has different bonuses to all the crew skills. So some of the companions are better at different things, and your affection rating with them can actually adjust that as well. So I look through my stuff, I say, okay, well, today I'm taking companion number 1 with me, so companion number 2, you're going to work on this thing. And all of the crew skills have different timing for them. And I'll talk a little bit about that more when we talk about missions, because it's important to remember that this is not something that you are going to click and wait 10 seconds and then click again. We're not sitting around spamming a thing. You're going to make a big item, you're going to do something, it's going to take hours. But you're not going to be impacted by this. You're going to go do something else. Your companion character, though, is now hooked up with this. So the third part is the mission system. And this is where it really gets different for us. So the mission system is the ability to take several different crew skills, and we talked about a couple of them, so I'm going to talk about those, but there's a bunch of them, and each of them does something different. So for instance, the 2 we talked about today was diplomacy and treasure hunting. And this is the ability to say, okay, I've got diplomacy, so I'm going to open up my menu, I'm going to look through my diplomacy skills, and each one of them is sort of a different little story and a different idea. And we're going to say I'm dark side. So what diplomacy does is diplomacy gets you light side and dark side points. It is spreading your influence out in the greater galaxy by your people. Right? I'm playing dark side, I'm playing an Inquisitor. In my mind, I'm already the Emperor. So I'm going to take my companion characters, I'm going to have them go out and sort of spread my wrath. So I find a diplomacy mission, I look through them, that's a light side one, I don't want that. All right, well that one's, here we go, okay. there's a minor governor of a small system who is refusing to capitulate to the empire. I'm going to call Kemval. I'm going to say, hey, Deshad, why don't you go convince him? I'm going to look at how much time it takes. And the great thing with mission systems is they go from 5 minutes to about 23 hours, depending on what they're doing. And you're kind of taking a risk, because you don't know, obviously the more time it takes, the bigger possible reward, but every mission you do has variables on the rewards, and the ability to basically crit on the reward. So you might get something incredibly amazing, and then there's sort of a scale of it. So I'm going to send him off. Now, treasure hunting, for instance, is a different one, and treasure hunting, unsurprisingly, is about getting loot. So Vet, obviously, is a treasure hunter when we meet her. She's got her bonus on treasure hunting. We say, all right, well, now obviously I'm the Sith warrior because I've got Vet. And I'm going to say, hey, you know what, I just want stuff. So Vet, go out, and we're actually going to say Vet's, I'm going to need her in about 10 minutes because I'm about to go run a group with my friends. But they're not online, I'm waiting around. I'm like, hey, you know what, Vet, go see me what kind of loot you can get for me in 5 minutes. All right, scoot, because at least then we're doing something. And it gives you an ability to, one, keep all of your companion characters going, and two, have something to do not only, so the big hits are, you don't have to be at the ship to do it. They're back on the ship. You don't have to be online to do it. So even if you're busy and you really can't come in for a few days, it's going to make sense to log in for 5 minutes, go through your stuff, put everybody, let's say, on 23-hour missions or 23-hour crafting pieces, and then sending them out. And for people who are traditionally not crafters, people who are not excited about that stuff, the mission system still gives them something they can do, right? They can take all mission skills instead, and that gives them something that they can do that doesn't involve quite the complexity and the discipline that maybe traditional crafting would.
Time.
I was going to try to just keep it going.
Let's see how long it would take him to tear
I feel
up.
like getting redder and redder.